Hello all, and welcome to Tuesday Q&A. I am your host, Roland. Today, our expert, Proud. Proud, how are you?
Great.
You're great?
Great. I'm great.
What's up, dude? How was the holidays? Annoying? One of those just bleh. Stressful?
Well, not just...
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
All the my age people fucking are like in different places, so just through luck of the draw, it's just me. It's just me. I got a sweet hat though, so you know.
Nice.
Check out my hat. Going a little tweet. Check out my hat.
Nice. I will definitely retweet your tweet. Can't wait to see. All right, so as you guys know, last week we had Ursinity on here as the expert, being quote unquote expert. Yeah, of course. I'm sorry I didn't put that there. And we got through some questions, although, you know, I felt like we could have got to the meat a little bit quicker. And of course, this was the first time we ever did it. I really enjoyed the show. I like hearing people's voices. I like hearing what they have to say. And first and foremost, I like a lot of your questions are my same questions. I don't know if any of you have had a class where it's like, please ask a question, because if you have that question, 20 other people in this room have this question. Well, yeah, that is probably even bigger with the questions you're asking here on Tuesday Q&A, because a lot of people are afraid to ask questions because it makes them seem inept in some cases, and you should never feel that way when trying to improve in anything. So,
right.
Proud, I'm going to start us off. This is an email question. This comes from Shrek2 on DVD. We had the pleasure of meeting this guy. I'm actually looking at our banner, and I see him. I see his signature. It says Shrek2 on DVD, a.k.a. Pro Techies. And wouldn't you know it, his email question kind of pertains to that. It says, can we...
I really liked him when we met him.
Yeah, well, he talked about techies the whole time when we met him, so... I mean, it's probably no real surprise.
Nice or something.
You were being nice, and yeah, you were just being, you know, that sociable, proud that you are. So, right. The question is, can we finally stop all the discrimination against techies and techies people, and talk about this hero with a little more detail with his amazing new rework, since he was skimmed in the patch notes show and is summoned with, yeah, he's a thing now. I want to hear shit about his ability to wave clear at 5, his dynamic item builds, and those sick talents. Proud, I know you... I'm going to go ahead and make an assumption that you have not played techies since 7.0.
I have a very strict code of ethics, and I try to live my life the way that I think others' lives should be lived, at least as closely as possible. So yes, I have never played techies in my life.
Okay, so...
I mean, I did in Dota 1 just to know what being a sinner felt like.
Yeah,
and
it feels good. I mean, it feels good. You do have a stronger moral compass, more ethical compass, all that.
I'm uncompromising.
You are uncompromising. So basically, the new deal with techies, the rework, you understand that landmines...
I have played with it. Twice, 3 times.
You understand bombs cannot be stacked on top of each other. You know this.
I know all the details. I was the only one who actually read through these on the patch notes when we saw them.
So
we glossed over them in the patch notes, but also it's just fucking hell, man.
Here's the thing with techies. I have played him a couple of times with success, and basically what I feel like happened to techies is not that different from the techies we saw when he first was released. The new techies, because when techies was first released, he could do 20 landmines. Then he had unlimited landmines that weren't as strong but had half the cooldown. And now basically he has these bombs that if they're hidden well, you're going to get hit by them. You have a second and a half to get away from them or kill them. Basically, techies serves the same function he always has, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, kind of. He's a lot more battle ready, though.
A lot more battle ready with level 1 blast off.
Silence. Oh my god.
The silence doesn't make a ton of sense, but I guess your ears are ringing.
Why does he have a silence?
Well, I don't know. Bomb goes off, your ears ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can still talk. I'm just saying. I played with this motherfucker. I was playing with on a stack with like Peachy and like Cart was there and a couple other people. And one of these motherfuckers, they picked techies and they blast off into some people, and then they were like silenced. And it was like, what the fuck? Like, why does this have a huge AoE silence? We just killed them all. Fucking techies is so good now, man. He's such a fucking good hero.
He's really good. So what I feel he got better at is dragging a game on. And that's why I have...
That's what we needed.
Say again?
That's what we really needed.
Yeah, it's to make a game longer.
Yeah, we needed... Damn, if he just really didn't make it long enough already.
Well, so his skills, I mean, I think it's his level 25 on his skill tree that is cooldown reduction. Techies has always strived to get Aghanims into Octarine for even more cooldown reduction. His greens go out a little faster, even without Ags. They still do an insane amount of damage. Yes, his bombs do more damage, but it's balanced in the fact that you can't just put like 25 bombs on top of each other and just like I gotta kill. Like you have to think harder with techies. But then again, still a similar function. I'm not biased against techies. I don't think techies players are scum of earth or anything like that. I just feel that this hero is much like Monkey King, kind of out of place. Kind of a hero that...
How is Monkey King out of place?
He's lame.
He's a Dota hero. He's just too strong.
I don't think he's overpowered. I think he's just dumb, in my opinion.
His ulti is just broken.
I don't think it's overpowered. What I think is dumb is I think it was like low hanging fruit. Is what Monkey King is. I think all of his abilities are pretty lame. I don't know why he lifesteals. They're definitely playing up the whole monkey thing, which I find to be super lame. His disguise ability, I mean, I'm sure
it's just based upon the lore. I mean, anyway, this is totally off topic, and
I'm just saying I put him in that class of heroes like.
I don't even want to hear about that because I'll just get mad.
You may get mad, but Puppy also talked about this when Earth Spirit was, and I'm tying this all together. He said that Dota back at like TI1, TI2, everything was pretty straightforward. You had a Wraith King who had a stun. You had these heroes that did these different things. And
I'm on the same page as that, but like Monkey King and techies are entirely like... Monkey King is a kind of slightly like new age Dota hero. Techies is a fucking entirely different class of
He's like your only like I don't know. I never played Team Fortress, but he's like your engineer or something like that. He's there to defend, and he's good at it. And so the reason I do pick techies is I see that we have like, for whatever reason, we have a Morphling and we have a Medusa mid, and we have some greedy offlane like Timbersaw or something like that. Techies actually fits well in that lineup because I know the later that game goes, eventually these three heroes are going to get the farm and are going to go the distance. And so me being techies, and I like to play support techies. I like to buy the wards and the courier because you don't really need much as a techies. Whereas before I would buy like a teleport scroll and like 10 clarity and TP out and start bombing. You don't need to do that anymore. I think level 1 blast off is the way to go. You get experience.
I disagree. I don't know why you would get level 1 blast off.
Because it's gonna blast you off. It's only 300 damage, but the silence, I mean, and
I don't care.
300 damage. We're talking. You're the proponent of Sven on taking 2 levels on Sven's stun early on.
Yeah, but Sven does things besides blast off.
He does.
Hit.
But
no.
What support does 300 damage at level 1 if you're playing him supporty? What support does that?
Does it matter? It really doesn't. Get proximity mines. Like, your proximity mine does 225 damage, and it doesn't like do half your health and have a 35-second cooldown and get yourself killed if it doesn't kill someone.
I'm saying it blasts you off to get to level 3, where you get proximity mines to do 400 damage, not 225, and then you can start placing them.
How does blast off? No, okay.
Look at popular builds. Go to Dota buff. Look at popular builds. It's level 1.
I literally do not care what the popular builds are, honestly, because people got suicide level 1 on techies all the time, and even in the old techies, that was fucking wrong too.
Well, they did that because of Tusk. They did that. They did that because of the Tusk.
They're fucking stupid because they're techies players.
No, Proud, you're wrong. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. You're wrong.
You do not know what you're talking about now.
You don't even play him. You don't know what you're talking about. People got level 1 suicide because of Tusk Snowball, dude. That's why they got level 1 suicide. That is the only reason.
There are some humans who did that. I'm sure that is the case.
That was the reason it was meta.
Literally, Arteezy did that in the first game because he didn't know what the fuck he was doing, just like every other techie.
No, people know what the fuck they're doing. Owie knew what the fuck he was doing when he won TI5 playing techies.
Suicide level 1.
No, he didn't. No, he did not. Go back and watch those games. I'm looking at
all the top techies right now. All of them get bomb level 1. Literally every single one of them. So don't fucking at me about this shit.
I'm going to at you, dog, and give me your receipts, okay? Apparently, Ursi said I'm not hip now that I'm a father.
Literally every single one.
All right, let's move on before fucking the horns come out, okay? Because let's let that happen later on in the show. All right, so our next question, we're going to get through some email questions here, and then we're going to take some live callers, is... a big fan from the UK, was introduced by his sister originally. He listens to you guys most days on his 50-minute commute, which...
Sorry, could you start again? I'm still literally every techies, all of them.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
Are we still... Can we move on?
I'm trying.
Right, do we have the ability to move on?
I was right about this.
'Tis the fucking season to move on, okay? Big fan of the show from the UK. Was introduced by my sister originally. Listen to you guys most days on my 50-minute each-way commute, which definitely helps me to get better at the game when I can't be playing. Interested to hear your thoughts on this. There have been a lot of discussion around the patch that has gone on forever and how we are looking forward to a change. However, other more traditional strategy games, chess, haven't changed for hundreds of years, and players continue to enjoy getting better and improving their play. Are we all just a bit ADD in the gaming community or spoiled by new toys being provided by Valve? Is changing the game when it's at its best state it has ever been in actually a good idea? Perhaps it would be better for the community as a whole if we weren't constantly changing how the game works. Love to hear your opinions. Giga Beef. How do you feel about that?
So I would kind of drop a connection between like StarCraft Brood War and really you could just say and Dota. Like I love Brood War. I love how it's unchanging. But just like the fact of the matter is, what's fun about Dota is how much crazy shit there is, and yeah, it can get old. That's just kind of how it is. I think it's just kind of the nature of the game. Part of its success was because it was changing so much, and there was always new shit to do. And obviously, if you cut that out, then it's not going to be as fun. So like maybe that means it's objectively a worse game than something like Brood War or whatever because it needs to be changed. Yeah, or chess or whatever. It needs to be changed to be interesting. But it's I don't know. It's just kind of how it is.
And so I studied chess for a second. To be honest, the like grandmasters in chess still do a lot of the same things people were doing in the 17th, 18th, 19th century. I mean, you still see some similar openings. You still see similar plays. So as far as chess being pulled as a comparison to Dota constantly, I don't think it's a good comparison to Dota. Chess is a one-on-one intellectual battle where Dota is a team game with constant variables based on not a million different heroes, 113 now or something like that. So
13, 14, something like that.
113. So the chess comparison, bad comparison in my opinion. Chess still sees the same, if you want to quote unquote meta for chess, it still sees the same meta over hundreds of years. And some might argue that chess is boring over hundreds of years. Yeah. But chess has a turn. It's turn based, right? Whereas Dota is real time, so you really can't make a comparison there. Chess also is reactionary and gaining tempo, which Dota does have some similarities there. But once again, it's real time. So barring the chess, I don't even want to talk about chess and Dota. I don't feel like there's really any...
Well, I mean, he's not like comparing the two games. He's just asking. Like,
he's saying,
I mean, the game hasn't changed.
The game hasn't changed.
You know, like any contemporary sport, be it football or basketball, like the rules don't really change much, and they have like insane longevity. So why is Dota different? But also, I would say like, I mean, a lot of the reasons that these games are different is just, I don't know. I actually don't really want to get into why like sports are different from like esports in general. But
yeah.
If you want to look at chess as a game that hasn't needed to change or whatever, but chess is actually like, it's not that interesting once you kind of like get what you're doing. Like everyone that I've talked to who isn't still playing chess but got into it at some point was like, well, by the time I figured out that everyone just kind of like the game's already figured out, it gets really boring. Like I was getting into chess for a while, and then it was like the only thing that I'm getting better at is figuring out things that other people already figured out. I'm like not quite as into it, and like we had Stan King on, and he was like, "Yeah, by the time I figured out, or by the time like my new place to get in chess was just to fucking copy things that people have been doing for 60 years, I got bored of it."
More than
And
60 years, probably 250 years, if not longer.
yeah. I mean, he was
Yeah.
good, so it was more like recent stuff. As far as I know, I'm probably butchering everything. But yeah, like I mean, and like there are professional or not professional, but like really like the highest echelon of chess players. There's like one that just refuses to play chess. He only plays fairy chess now, which is chess with like I think he only plays like if you randomize the pieces, because otherwise it's just figured out and fucking boring. So I wouldn't even say that chess is like, you know, pristine in the fact that it's timeless.
I think Broodmother is a good example, though, and a lot of StarCraft. I mean, even Wings of Liberty, we didn't see any changes to Wings of Liberty while we were playing, yet people were getting better and figuring things out.
Saw a lot of changes, honestly. And I mean, even that game died, but it was just a bad game.
It was a great game but no huge changes. So the reason Dota gets changed is, in my opinion, I guess I'll answer this as best I can, is that you have so much variability with the 113, 114 heroes that there are. So many different spots that get figured out. So many things that the creators of the game couldn't even anticipate, that this game does need to be changed frequently. It's not because the community has ADD. Honestly, we would all still be playing Dota right now if 7.0 didn't come out and it was just Monkey King. We would all be playing it, but the developers say, hey, look, there are ways that we can make our game more efficient and better, and it's a byproduct that hits us as the players, and it works. I mean, I love that they do that. It keeps the game fresh, and it keeps people from becoming complacent in their plays. For instance, like if you're really good at Lina and the game never changed, well, what's the incentive for playing a new hero? You're just going to play Lina all the time, and then other heroes are going to get, not picked. So that would be my way to answer that, I guess.
I would also say a huge part of the fun of Dota is like discovering new things and like doing science on it.
Yeah.
And like the reason that you watch a tournament is like, oh man, they're trying out this hero. I didn't know this could work this way. And as the game goes on, less and less of that stuff is figured out. Hence saying like, oh, Stan King when he was learning chess probably was actually, learning things that people were doing hundreds of years ago. Like that's not interesting. It's not like chess has a huge viewing demographic. Like that has fallen off pretty strong in the past 100 years. Not that we know how chess would do on Twitch when it first came out. But,
it could come back. And the thing with chess is, yes, you're copying, other plays, but it's about being able to think, okay, it's basically going over a Rolodex in your brain and saying, I've seen this before, and I know there's a proper way to react to it. Can I roll through my Rolodex in my brain to figure out what is the best way to deal with this and gain tempo for myself or something like that? Maybe not boring, still super strategic, but maybe not the best spectator sport, and there's a reason chess isn't broadcasted everywhere. That would be the best thing.
Question.
All right, so this will be the last email question that we're going to do today. This question is definitely more pointed at you, Proud. It says, hi, what advice tips would you give to a new captain and drafter? Thanks.
Wait, do we have the name for the person?
Marks. The last one was Gigabeef. The last one was
Okay.
Gigabeef.
Was that? I'm trying to think if that's. There was someone I met at Boston, who I think she got her brother into it. So that may be B-Dub's brother. If so, hey, what's up? If not, then my bad.
Good man.
Okay, so
Advice tips for new captain and drafter.
All right, got it, comrade. Arcs. I guess the first thing that I would say is, based upon like the team that you have, you need to figure out a good starting two. Or at least some little niche that your team can fill. Like, for instance, we identified, okay, like Flub always needs to play a roamer. Sam is always going to like play like a greedier style mid, and like those are your non-flexibles. Like I can play any kind of carry. Skrunk can learn whatever off lane. Faf will play whatever I give him as long as he's practiced on it. But in general, like Flub will roam no matter what I do, and Sam will go greedy basically no matter what I do. So you need to figure out what your constants are. After you have your constants, you want to try to draft around that with your first two in a way that can be flexible, whether it be something that your roamer always or something that one of your unflexibles always is going to feel comfortable on, or something that will always work in your lineup. Like I could always pick Juggernaut because I knew I was going to have to play a fighting carry almost every game. Or I could give Ursinity the Juggernaut. So you just need to pick something that will work with your unflexible players, whether that they'll play them or that it'll always work with that strategy. And then once you get there, then it becomes a lot easier. I honestly think that's the place to start.
No,
that's
figure out super helpful. Like knowing the archetypes before even picking the heroes. Like knowing. Okay, I have somebody who loves to play greedy mids. I have somebody who is really good on support, but just can't play Bane. And I have somebody that I don't care if I pick him a Pugna, he's going to roam with it or something like that. If you know that, then it's going to help you as a drafter. And that just got me thinking. Instead of just, I don't care about what you guys play, I'm going to draft the most beautiful draft, and you are all going to play it, and you're going to play it exactly how it should be. You need to know who you're playing with, and that does make a good captain.
And then to also give you like heroes to pick, you generally want to pick low execution heroes. Like not to say don't pick anything that if someone's really good at a hero, maybe believe them. But in general, like pick a lot of fucking stuns. Don't find yourself in a lineup with no lockdown. Like a fucking classic ass team that I've gone against is like a support duo of Earthshaker Lion, and then they have a Sven carry and like Dragon Knight mid, and then their off lane is like, I don't know, fucking Axe or Tidehunter. Like literally just 5 stuns. That's really good. Just pick 5 stuns. Always make sure you have at least one team fight ultimate also, whether that be a Ravage in your off lane, a Chronosphere in your off lane, a Disruptor ulti on a support, a Sand King.
What about Earthshaker? Is that a big? Would you consider that a big? It's
okay.
Ult?
Earthshaker's not that great, but Earthshaker's definitely a good team fight hero.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
you need some skirmish stuns, some low cooldown stuns, and at least one team fight ulti. It's a good place to start.
And yeah, you and I have gotten into this as far as like what a team needs. But if you can get a stun and everything your team needs on every hero, then that sounds like a pretty good draft. But I guess to summarize what you said,
unless you're against Morphling.
Yeah, unless you're against Morphling, you need nuke, silence. Right? You need silence and a nuke.
Just a silence, yeah. Silence and you're good.
Yeah, Denny was asking me, is like, what do I pick against this Morph? And I'm like, God, like. Nuke? And he's like, I need a carry, and I'm like, what carry nukes? I don't know, dude. Like, and then I realized
get that get the AoE silence that can't get Link and stuff, and Drow's not that great against Morphling.
Yeah, I mean, because Morphling can just wave in and kind of take care of her. But all right, let's go to our first live caller. His name is Gimpy2222. His MMR is 1331. Gimpy, what's your question?
Me, Roland, I appreciate your new fatherhood and hope you can continue to play.
I appreciate it too, and I have continued to play. Thank you, sir.
I don't appreciate it.
My question comes down to is I'm 1331 solo right now. I frequently play with 2 to 3K players in party matches and play support and do well, and we have great games. I have 60% win rate on my party matches, 65 or somewhere in there.
Nice.
But when it comes to my solo, it's awful, as you can tell at 1330, and I am at that sub 2K hell, and I'm trying to figure out how to get out of that. So what I'm looking for is kind of a 2-part question. I'm looking for what are the best 2 to 3 characters to learn to get out of that range.
Can I stop you? They're called heroes. They're called heroes, but go ahead.
Heroes, my bad.
You didn't say champions, you said characters.
It's heroes. Go. What? Okay.
It is heroes. I'll go with that. So that's 2 or 3 heroes to get out of that sub 2K range in 7.0. But more importantly, part of that question is how should I approach getting out of this sub 2K and winning games in solo ranked when you can't count on competent teammates? Right. I mean, should I try to carry that, or should I just straight up try to coach them while I'm doing it? I mean, what's the angle I should take?
Okay, Proud, you shut up. Shut up,
Roland,
Proud.
Yeah, I was going to say, Roland, you go first.
Yeah.
You just live this hell.
Yeah, Proud, you shut up. Okay. So you're 1331. I placed at 1800 when I initially calibrated. I dropped down to like 1200 or 1100 within the first couple of months. I just lost like crazy. And now, hindsight being 2020, I would say that you need to play exceptionally better than everybody else that's on your team. I don't think you need to waste your breath with telling people what the right thing to do is, in your opinion, what the right thing to do is. I don't think you need to waste your breath with even telling people to be places, because honestly, you can't really count on anyone. You need to count on yourself. And the best way to do that, I don't even think it's 2 to 3 heroes. I think it's 2 positions, 2 to 3 positions, and that is get a core, get off lane, get mid, get safe lane, and farm better than their off lane, their mid, their safe lane. That would be my number one advice for climbing out of the quote unquote trench. Do better than everybody else. And I know people say you can support your way from 1K to 7K. I find that to be a complete fallacy. Nah, I don't know. You need to be playing an excellent support then. You need to be playing like a core support. You know what I mean?
If you do really want to like carry your team through supporting, we had Stan King on for the Theorycraft Thursday show, and I asked him a little bit about like how do you carry at 7K with a bunch of shitter 5K teammates, and he really likes Skywrath Mage, like someone who can really just from minute one, like crush the game and exert a ton of pressure. So if you do want to support your way out of the trench, Skywrath's a great choice. Someone who can transition to a core is great, like Silencer. Like if you get a bunch of kills with Silencer early, you're a core now. So if you do want to support, Silencer is good. Skrunk played the shit out of Shadow Shaman to gain a lot of his MMR.
He did. Well, explain that a little further, because he did a really cool Shadow Shaman. I want you to get into that just a bit.
So his thing when he plays Shadow Shaman in pubs is every single time he presses R, it's at least half a tower. It's always a tier 1, normally half a tier 2. So it's just like he picks Shadow Shaman, gets whatever ganks he can, scrounges whatever farm he can. Whenever he's 6, every time his ulti is up, he'll just walk to a tower, drop his ult down, and like take the tower. And you can do that really easily at a lower MMR. Like if you have to pick 5, pick Shadow Shaman, try to get your 6 however you can, and then just start taking towers. Everyone sucks at objectives, everyone sucks at farming, everyone sucks at everything. As long as you can take towers down, you're going to be in pretty good business. I know a lot of people... Go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say, what about like jumping on a Sven in a bot match and just practicing last hitting? Because if you can just last hit better than anybody else and be a couple items ahead, isn't that going to lead to objectives and kills and a win?
Sure. That's definitely true. Like if you just have better, like you can mechanics your way through, but honestly, like mechanics are something that can come with time. It's really hard to just brute force. Oh, like spend a fucking 2 days in a hyperbolic time chamber in Dragon Ball Z and come out with Super Saiyan 2 mechanics and shit. That's like really hard to pull off, and it's really demotivating. And like you're gonna have to, and then if you do that and then you lose 2 games, you're like, what the fuck what am I doing?
Yeah.
But I think one of the best things to do is just play at least a good split pusher. Like, you ever watch that video, the Wolves Have No Armor or whatever, with Lycan?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I know you have, you piece of shit. Yeah, so just like, I don't play Lycan, throw up and split push. But if you do want to play core, you need to play a completely self-sufficient core. You don't want to pick like Spectre and be like, I have no support, my life sucks, this is awful.
Yes.
Like, you want to pick like a Life Stealer or Juggernaut or a Lycanthrope who has built-in HP regen now, like Faceless Void, who can undo any damage he takes if you get caught out of position and shit. So you just want to play something that's self-sufficient, and hopefully that it can contribute to taking objectives.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring Gimpy back on the line. Gimpy, so do you play core often?
No, I actually play support most. I'm probably 65, 35% or so.
Have you played all the heroes? Have you at least screwed around with most of them?
A majority of them, yeah.
Okay, so how do you feel with Sven? How do you feel with Juggernaut? How do you feel with like what Proud was saying, these self-sufficient heroes?
I feel comfortable with them. I don't feel very awesome with them again because I do most support, and most of my higher level games are support games.
What about your mechanics?
Down to core.
What about your mechanics? How do you feel about last hitting? Do you feel like you? I guess that my ultimate question would be: do you feel like you were better than 1300 MMR?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
My CS pre-7 was 55.
55 by 10 55. In a good lane where you're not getting harassed, you can get 55. Well, I would.
Do you buy Quelling Blade immediately?
All right, I do that.
Good.
Often, but yeah.
All right, 100% of the time, buy Quelling Blade always.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what hero you're on unless it's arranged. And basically, Proud taught me this: the equivalent to a Quelling Blade on a ranged hero is a Bassi. Get it? Start off with that Ring of Protection, and then buy your Sage's Mask on the side shop. Or
For the most part.
For the most part, I feel like that was like the greatest lesson I learned. If you want to play like a Drow in the safe lane, although Drow isn't super self-sufficient, if you want to climb your way
Luna's
out,
great.
or Luna, yeah, Luna's great. If you want to climb your way out, go into a bot match, hit some creeps as Sven, figure out, because Sven, I will tell you, is pretty like one of the easier heroes in my opinion to last hit with. Play some Sven, play some Juggernaut, hit some creeps, hit some more creeps. Make sure that you understand why you're building an item. Don't you agree, Proud? Like, don't just willy-nilly build something. Like, you know, if you need something, get it. For the most part, you know, follow Sven's guide. I know Sven has changed pretty wildly, and I know Armlet is a hard item to play with. So just don't get it if you don't feel comfortable with Armlet, because it's really no good unless you're using it. So,
If you want to play core like Sven, Juggernaut, Lycanthrope, Clinks, kind of like those are all fine heroes to play. But if you do only want to climb with support, then at least pick a support that can either like transition to a core like Silencer or Vengeful Spirit,
yeah, Vengeful,
or play a support that can definitely help with taking towers. Like Jakiro and Shadow Shaman are incredible pushers, and they're probably pretty good ones to climb with.
But the problem
Also,
is though, once it gets late, how are they going to do anything? I mean, I think that's what he's kind of asking.
Every hero scales pretty well now. Like Shadow Shaman, if you get first item Ag, second item Refresher, like you can racks with that hero solo against idiots.
And if you get jumped, you can
especially.
just throw down serpents if you get jumped, and I guess you know you waste that cooldown, but maybe you'll get a couple kills and you can shackle somebody in them.
Jakiro does a ton of damage now. Like that is a good hero, honestly. I love Jakiro.
Gimpy, do you feel a little bit better about climbing? Is this kind of just regurgitated information, or?
Some of it certainly is regurgitated. I've played a lot. I've listened to your Friday show a lot, so I've definitely done a lot of inner thought about how I'm playing and how I'm approaching things. But a lot of times it just comes down to I'm choosing. You know, either I have to choose first because I'm losing gold because the rest of my team's not choosing, and I feel like I'm fairly flexible.
First
or
pick
I choose
Jug.
last.
First pick Jug. First pick Jug.
Yeah.
First pick Sven. It doesn't matter.
Get comfy on Juggernaut. That's get comfy on Juggernaut. If you really need to support, play Shadow Shaman or Jakiro.
So what happens if I go into a match and we have 5 carries or 5 cores because I picked first and
buy the
no one else
courier? Buy the
cares?
courier. Make sure you buy the courier because you're going to need it. Who cares? It's 100 gold. It's 2 CS. It's 3 CS. Who cares? You're going to get it because you're a better player. You're better than 1300. If you have 5 cores, make sure you drag the game on because 5 cores are going to win the game.
Just wade through it. Just wade through it. You'll get there. If you have 5 cores, they don't know how to push towers still. You'll be okay. Buy an Iron Talon quickly. Try to make it to jungle, and try to just, you know, get whatever you need to sustain in jungle. Use the fucking sanctuaries that are everywhere. Pick up the bounty runes, and you'll make it through. Also, if you want to pick, if that looks like it's really gonna happen, and you want to pick a core that can jungle as well as, you know, be a carry. Lycanthrope is great. Lycanthrope scales really well now. Lifestealer is good. You can even be the jungle legion commander, and I will not fault you.
And I hope that this information isn't too regurgitated, but honestly, just follow that, and I think you'll see great success. Especially if you have the confidence, which I can hear it in your voice. You do have the confidence. You're playing with better players. You know what other heroes do, which is going to help you a lot if you know what other heroes do. You know what you're weak against. You know what you're strong against. You know when you can go in. You know when you should back. Yeah, and definitely I'm going to go ahead and regurgitate what Proud tells me. Just know when to back and farm better than them, and you'll win.
Don't die, get farm. You will gain many MMRs.
Many MMRs, and I can't wait until you come on the show again, Gimpy, to tell us that you're 3K.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Of course, Thank you. Okay, so our next caller is Mr. Fancy Pants. Our Mr. I don't know if this is okay. Mr. Fancy Pants, you're gonna have to describe your question and your MMR. What's your MMR, Mr. Fancy Pants?
My MMR on my account, Extravagant Trousers, is an unfortunate 1081. I calibrated at level 20, not realizing that was a bad idea.
Okay,
Yes.
And what's your question?
My question is, how do you guys go about teaching somebody that has like little to no native video game knowledge how to play Dota? My girlfriend got really interested when we moved in together, and I would like to play with her, and I'm a little at a loss how to do that.
That's tough. I am too. Okay, once again, I mean, Proud, I taught my wife. Okay, so extravagant trousers, fancy pants. Here's the best way to do this: is your girlfriend is going to hop into this world that is chaotic, confusing, and very difficult to understand, in my opinion. I watched Dota before ever playing Dota. I watched like the top 10 plays, and I didn't even understand why they were the top 10 plays or what was good or what was happening. So really, starting off slow would be the best way. I know everybody says Lich, and I still agree with that. I mean, Proud, don't you agree that Lich? I mean, you have some pretty basic things with Lich.
Yeah, Lich is the best.
You don't. I feel like don't overwhelm with information. Basically, be the core to her support at first, I would say. And give her little bits of information at a time, like sacrifice. Why does she want to do this all the time? I'm already full mana. I know that I've read sacrifice. I know that sacrifice gives me mana. Why do I want to continue to do this? I'm at full mana. And explaining like the entirety of, we'll creep equilibrium, we'll pull it closer to our tower, which means I'll get more last hits. And then eventually, we can push if you pull, and then we can get there tier 1, and then it'll give us an objective, and then we can move to a different... You don't want to overwhelm. What I found with my wife when she was first playing is I just answered her questions concisely, and didn't want to overwhelm. I didn't want to be like, hey, you're Lich, go grab the bounty rune, make sure that you secure that, buy wards, so on. You can still, I feel like still saying buy wards is a good idea, and getting her used to that. Honestly, if you want to get her into the game, wouldn't you suggest maybe like a co-op bot match? Proud, what do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, I've taught a number of people to play, some continued playing, some not. I started playing this game originally with my girlfriend, or my girlfriend at the time, but she had already played plenty of games and had played League of Legends, so I'm not the best person to say, how to do a dry run, but even people that I have taught how to play who have experience with games, Dota can be way too much. So if you do want to undertake this, which is a noble effort, I would say, keep it as basic as possible. Even maybe find like a custom game that's really easy, like just any custom game, whether it be like Overthrow or just something basic to get her used to the controls. Because even just moving around in camera controls for some people is way too much. So if you do want to start like playing Dota, I would say passive or easy bots, and don't really focus on anything outside of being happy whenever she's able to like move to a place or get like a last hit consistently. Because I mean, there's all of Dota. Like Dota is complicated to people who know how to move around in 3D environments. Like it's not. That's hard. Even camera control and moving the character is going to be a long process, right? So definitely don't play games that aren't co-op bot matches, at least for a pretty long time.
Yeah, I would agree. So have you, Extravagant Trousers, have you begun this process, or are you waiting to begin?
We have begun. We went through the tutorials a little bit, and then we've been doing, like what you said, playing in co-op bot matches. We tried with her on support on a carry first for a little bit, and it was like, oh god, creep aggro, towers, all this, too much. So we made the switch to her playing support, and that went pretty well last night. She was trying to stack camps and harass the off lane.
Oof.
And I know, she's such a winner, right?
Yeah.
And she made me dinner.
Yeah. Have you proposed?
It's only been like 10 months.
Hey, I was going to propose at 6 months, but then Denny talked.
Jesus Christ!
Denny talked me out of it. And then then I did 18 months, and she said yes.
Ugh.
Hey, you only got like 8 more months, 10 more months before you propose to this girl, yeah? Sounds like she's a winner. Yeah, you want to keep her.
Oh yeah.
So based on what we said, how are you going to approach this? I mean, what do you think?
What's going wrong? Like, what's the hardest part right now?
So I'm trying to avoid the overwhelming with information thing, but I'm having trouble figuring out what order to give those pieces in, and B, all the stuff that I wish people had told me when I was starting to play Dota, like camera controls, hotkeys, no really like don't use these buttons, they're terrible kind of things.
Yeah.
Because like I
So
recently like just switched my camera controls and went through the grind of like learning some new hotkeys,
Yeah.
and I went on like an 8 game win streak or something like it, hyperbole, just from that. And I wish I had been given that from day one, so I could
Sure.
have not learned all the bad buttons that I'd have to relearn.
Yeah, so I would say
Yeah.
definitely start her out with like whatever good habits that aren't like you know, like good habits about like the setup and that sort of thing, but not good habits as in like, you know, checking people's items and that sort of thing, right? You don't want to start out with crazy shit
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. Just
Oh,
like
no.
camera control. Yeah, so for sure that's the correct way to go. I would say maybe kind of take it in the same way that the Dota 2 or that the Dota community itself learned to play. Like the main thing that people focus on is getting gold. Oh, sorry, one sec. I had a cough. Just, you know, like last hitting and all that, and just fighting people and killing them and taking towers. You know, like you want her to be having fun while she's doing it, right? And things people have fun with, killing motherfuckers, getting kills, like making it look like you're actually contributing to the game. Wards and like stacking camps too much. A lot of the more like esoteric, ethereal aspects of Dota maybe don't focus on too much, because if she's enjoying the game and feeling like she's doing well, like she's going to want to figure that kind of stuff out on her own, right? So just at the very least, like I love starting people with support. Like Lich is great for that because you get all the feeling that you're contributing a shit ton without needing that much mastery. And like CM is the worst fucking hero to start with for that reason.
Yeah.
Yes, CM is helping a shit ton, but you don't fucking know outside of this person who's better than you that's telling you, oh no,
Just
your aura
level
is
your
helping
E.
so
Just
much.
level your E. It's great. It's great for me. I
Yeah,
promise.
and
See
they're
this
just
done?
like, I'm 0-15, but apparently I'm having fun right now. But yeah,
Yeah.
just focus on like, you know, getting kills and being helpful and like, you know, tangible stuff like, oh, teach her how to like push with a wave or whatever. Like the coolest thing you could teach her is how to double wave, like pull the easy camp at like 3:30 and then bam, we get the tower so quickly. Like, wow, there's crazy shit you can do, and then that tower that I was afraid of is now fucking dead at 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you do want to teach complicated stuff, the best things to teach are the ones that you can immediately see the result from, so they're more like pleasing to experience.
And also, Mr. Fancy Pants, praise. I will tell you that when, like, so my wife did start off on Crystal Maiden because she thought Crystal Maiden was cute, is basically how it started out. And I was like, yeah, you can play Crystal Maiden. And she started doing pretty good with, like, the cold feet and whatnot. It's not called cold feet. I don't know what it's called.
Frostbite.
But what I found that really helped her is keeping morale up on those players. Just like Proud said, being 0-15 and being like, you're having fun, damn it. I promise you're having fun because I'm
doing great right now.
I'm doing
I have
great.
so much farm.
Yeah. Like if you just praise the little things, like she put a ward down, even if it's in a terrible place, praise. Like compliment sandwich that shit. Be like, that's great. Now we can totally see where our shrine is. But you know, next time, this is a great ward spot too, but the fact that you're even buying wards means that you are leagues better than anybody I ever play with. And then it gives her that confidence and that drive to play. And I got my wife to the point where she was like, I'm just good at video games, babe. I'm just good at video games. and she had all this confidence, and it really made her want to improve. It made her watch some Purge videos with me, and we had a lot of like it. It was great because I didn't get in trouble for playing Dota anymore, because how do you get in trouble when your wife's playing with you? So, or girlfriend, significant other.
The biggest biggest regret I've ever had is that my girlfriend at the time was really hyped to try out Bloodstone on Enchantress. And I was like, oh, I don't actually think that's that great an item build. But I shouldn't have said that. I should be like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it, even though it's not good. But, you know, like if they're excited about something, if they want to try something, if there's a hero that they're into, even if it's a really complicated one, like, just fucking just do it. Like, as long as they're having fun and they're happy, go for it. You know what I mean? Just do it.
Praise. Little bits of information. I think you got this. You sound like you're a good significant other to her, and that she'll learn a lot. And you guys will have a flowering Dota relationship with one another.
Yeah, God bless.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, that is difficult, and I'm glad we got that question, Proud, because you went through it. You went through it in like you said, under different circumstances. Denny's gone through it, and I'm still going through it. I'll be honest. Like, I play with Denny and his girlfriend, and she's playing Jungle Wraith King, and I'm playing
Nice.
like a Slark or something like that. And she's like, "How come our supports aren't buying wards?" And it's like, "Cause we don't have any, and she should be our support." And I like end up buying
Well,
like
because they're in the jungle.
yeah, and I was like, and I end up buying all the wards, and she's like, "Wow, well, I can't believe our supports aren't buying wards." And it's like, yeah, me neither. as I'm
dear.
Slark buying them all. But Denny's gone through it. I will say that Denny's approach is he gets bombarded with questions in stressful scenarios and is like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, and doesn't even listen to the question and kind of just like, this is just do this, or just buy that. And really, I think that's where the co-op bot match comes in, or just where you can pause and you can explain, opposed to being in an actual game, even if it's normal.
Yeah.
And being like, she's like, I don't know where the shrines are, and I just drew a rectangle, and it was like, here, see this rectangle? They're touching each corner of the rectangle. Anyway,
And also, I mean, like, you're not trying to get pro, right? Like, you're just trying to have something that, you and your partner can have, like, a really nice time with. So
Exactly.
emphasize on what like the fun thing to do is.
Exactly. All right, so our next question comes from Curbside. His MMR is 2450. Curbside, what is your question?
Hi guys. So my question was, do you guys believe that the clock structure in place in the game will be subject to change in future patches?
Like the clock at the top?
Yeah. So far, it's only been sort of given like a new look, but do you think it's gonna play a bigger role later down the road?
What do you mean specifically? Like more timings? Like I guess I'm a little bit confused on the question.
Yeah. So there's other MOBAs that basically use a clock, and by the time the clock is down to 0, it's whoever wins with the most objectives achieved by then.
Okay. Well, let's.
I can't see something like that ever coming to Dota.
It would ruin it. I mean, as like an arcade game, maybe like when we hit that 0-minute mark, you whoever has the most, or like overthrow, like like whoever has the most kills on a team. So the clock is however they do it. I know a lot of people are complaining that like Night Stalker, when he hits darkness, it no longer shows that Night Stalker hit darkness on the clock, and the clock used to show different things, and yeah, it looks maybe a little more sleek, but it's lacking a little bit. But
Yeah.
the clock is extremely important. It's something that I pay a lot of attention to, and I feel like as you climb the MMR ladder, you pay more and more attention to it. I know Proud pays a ton of attention to the clock, but as far as the clock changing the game fundamentally, I don't see it changing anymore. I mean, it's important to know that, you pull at 54. It's important to know that, you all click it for when Roche dies. It's important to know for buyback timings. A lot of people will do that, especially pro players. It's really key for that. But as far as the clock being fundamental for the way that the game works, or for the win conditions for the game, I think that would definitely be a bad idea for Dota. Proud?
I feel like the clock is so integral to like every single part of Dota that I just don't think anything crazy can change it up unless we have a patch bigger than 7.0.
Oof, and that would be like a 9.0 earthquake. Yeah. I mean, with the clock, look at it, I guess. I mean, I know this is kind of sidestepping your question where you're thinking, Curbside, are you thinking that like, you think eventually that they're going to dictate how long a game should last?
Yeah, so I was thinking because there's like already sort of like an unhealthy view about like hardcore pro gaming and like, being sitting down for a while, that some MOBA games like Heroes of the Storm and Mobile Legends have like a timer. Basically the clock runs differently. It's you run out of time. It's however much objectives you've reached, whether you took the core or not. That's how it works down.
Do you personally like that?
I don't know. I mean,
there are
I
benefits
have
to it.
memories of like nightmarish techies games that went like 75 minutes plus, and then you have your memories of like really good, rare occasions where like you have such an amazing, I don't know, steamroll situation, or just like the perfect team composition and you get like a 15, 20, 25-minute game.
Yeah. Whew. I mean, I'm not a developer for Valve. Proud's not a developer for Valve, but I think we kind of have to take our... I just recently had a 111-minute long Techies game. And yeah, it was painful, but it does make up for all those games where you just steamroll in 16 minutes. I am going to go ahead and Nostradamus and say there will never be like you have 30 minutes to gather as many objectives as possible. That may be like an event that Proud does,
Please don't drop this secret.
That may be an event that Valve does. That may be some sort of weird tournament mode. But as far as for the main purpose of the game, a lot of people get a ton of enjoyment out of a long game. For example, Adfinim versus OG in the Boston Major Game 3. I mean, could you imagine if that game ended based on objectives? It would have been anticlimactic. It would have been upsetting for everybody. People would have wanted it to be played out. So I don't know how...
I can definitely... I can see the want for there being like a way for Dota to not be like an hour, potentially longer commitment for like any time you want to queue up, but I feel like it's just so ingrained into the game at this point, and like it's been so decided that like let's just not have a surrender function and all that. I think if there was any interest in making sure that like 2 hour and a half long stalemates don't happen, that'll be in the form of like hero changes and additional like, you know, items like Moonshard or whatever that just like make sure that games are going to end.
Yeah, more late game items probably. Curbside, interesting question. It's tough for us to. Yeah, I mean, one for C. I don't know. I personally, I wouldn't want to play in that world where I was like, because think about the implication of like, okay, you have a 30-minute timer. That means that your drafts would be stale so quickly. I mean, you'd be seeing these drow drafts every single game because you'd need to be taking down towers. You see like Jakiro a lot. You'd see Pugna a lot. If a tower were considered an objective. And then all of a sudden, like heroes like Spectre and Medusa and Morphling and Anti-Mage and all those that kind of focus on farming would be null, because why do you want a hero that farms for 30 minutes if the game's going to be over in 30 minutes? So it would kind of ruin the hero pool, in my opinion, as well. It would narrow the hero pool, at least. It
would definitely cause a huge meta change, but I think in general, with a lot of confidence, I will say such a thing will not come to pass.
Yeah, I would as well. Curbside, thank you for the interesting question.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, weird question. I mean, that's one way, I guess, to force a game to be shorter. I think it's just the best way that Valve can make a game shorter in Dota is, like you said, just further balance and items and that type of thing. So
when this patch came out, everyone was like, "Oh, these games are so much shorter," not really noticing that it was just because no one knew what the fuck they were doing. So that, you know, you snowballed very quickly as soon as you got anything close to an advantage. But as it leveled out, games have been on average like 2 to 3 minutes longer. So I mean, there's definitely the capability to shorten games just through balancing, right? It's not just like Dota's naturally long game. Like if they remove techies, for instance, I don't know, that seems like a good idea. Then we would have less long games.
I agree. All right, before we close this out, we have one last email question, Proud. It says, okay.
This one where I fuck, marry, kill.
Is this what?
I was Jordan Hansen asked for me to fuck, marry, kill, play Dota with, because you need 4, not 3, with the ham team. And I was looking forward to that.
No, it doesn't look like this is an email. Is this a joke that just went over my head? Is that what just?
No, this is a real question that was asked in the Discord.
Well, he didn't go through the proper channels, so the question doesn't.
Now I'm disappointed.
All right, so the question is, could you please talk a bit about lane pressure? I think this is my sticking point right now. I'm far from excellent with my last hits, but also the lane pressure, harassing the enemy, as well as dealing with pressure from my opponents, is one of the bad points right now. Is there some sort of grand scheme behind what we should be doing? This involves me one-on-one laning, 1v2, or even 2v2 with a second guy in my lane who's very passive. I have had so many bad games that whenever I can make it online in a solo pub, I will just be matched with a bunch of people who won't really help me that much in my laning phase. Or, if I am the support, it is my job to give the opponent shit. I don't know. Maybe you may have some great theoretical ideas that could help my understanding of this. And if you have some ideas about how to get better as soon as possible, if your internet is too shitty for playing online a lot, I'd be glad, but I guess there really are just a few things one can practice in bot games. They are too predictable. Greetings and have fun talking. Good game. Serve me on.
All right. What do you think, Rolo?
So I don't know. I mean, it kind of goes back to
let's only talk about how to get better if your internet is shitty and just ignore the other question, and then he'll be like really mad.
I'm far from excellent with my last hits, but also the lane pressure. So
well, hey, he answered question 2 with question 1.
Yeah,
here's how you get better if your internet is shitty. Bot matches.
Yeah.
Specifically, even if you play bot matches and just like practice last hitting, even if that's kind of boring, there's a custom game that I really like called Last Hit Exercises. Yeah, Last Hit Exercises, literally Last Hit Exercises. And I practice that for about 20 minutes if I'm trying a new hero that I'm not good at last hitting on. And it's really good. You have money. You just last hit. You can decide if you're going to last hit under tower or not. You can decide what kind of creeps you're fighting. It gives you a nice varied set of lane creeps to deal with. It's very good practice. Last hit exercises. There you go.
Yeah, I agree. Last hit exercises, as far as harassing, I mean, usually you want a support in your lane that's doing that. You don't want to really blow your laning phase mana on any core that I can think of. So harassing would come more in the fashion of maybe pulling your own lane if you're a solo core, because then you can get the wave closer to your tower and maybe get a couple of pot shots off on the enemy offlaner. But I wouldn't worry too much about harassing if you're not last hitting well. Yeah, that's a roundabout way for me to say I agree with you.
Yeah. I would say if you're part of this comes down to hero choice. If you're playing in a game where you're like going to be contested or there's a chance you're going to be contested, of course you want to play a carry that can deal with that. You don't want to be a Spectre. You don't want to be like Ember Spirit safe lane or Tiny or something stupid like that, or like Anti-Mage that's just going to get harassed out. So, as I said to the other guy, like aim to play carries that are fairly self-sufficient that can deal with that sort of thing. Whether it to be a ranged hero like Luna or even like Sniper, not really Drow, like Clinks is good, or a hero that can just shrug it off pretty well like Faceless Void or Lifestealer, Wraith King, the new Lycanthrope with his built-in HP regen. If you get like 2 points in Feral Impulse by 3, you have 4 HP regen. It's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
A PA who can toss daggers is not so bad. But like you really just want to make sure if you're going to get like harassed at all, don't pick whatever greedy carry. You need to pick someone who can be self-sufficient, who can shrug off the harass, and potentially if the lane's too hard, be able to go jungle. One of the biggest issues I had early on with getting harassed and playing an awful lane is I would just like keep going back to the lane, and the best decision is to just fucking leave the lane. You could say, oh, but there's no lane to go to. Like fucking teleport to a jungle and spend 3 minutes trying to kill one hard camp. Like literally that's the thing to do, because if you're not there, eventually they'll take the tower and then there's going to be an opening for you when the lane pushes to your tier 2. Like if the current game state is not going well for you and it is not going to start going well for you, just fuck off and make a change. Even if it's an inefficient change, it'll cause some kind of butterfly effect and you'll get your opening later on. Don't be afraid to leave your lane if it's just utter garbage. And then if your support that wasn't doing anything is mad at you for leaving the lane, just mute them. If everything's going to shit, fucking do something. It'll make a change, and if it's not better, at least it's different.
I agree. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in to Tuesday Q&A.
Oh wait, also always last hit over harass. I mean, like if you have the option, like if someone is like behind the creep wave and not doing anything, and you're like, oh, I want to harass them out so they never come back to lane. Just the number of times that I've gone for like a hero kill and then we don't get it and I miss 3 CS for it, I'm just like, what? And
that's half what the hero kill would have been anyway, supposing every hero kill's worth 300 gold, which isn't always the case. Some hero kills are worth about 200. So not always worth it.
Get them last hits.
Get them last hits. Climb your way with cores. And also thank you everybody for either writing in questions or coming on and asking your questions. It helps us. I'm not going to speak for you. It helps me as get better as a player, listening to people's questions and hearing your answers, and sometimes racking my brain to try and answer it in the best way that I can. So super interesting. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close the show. Thank you all once again for listening. We are Defense of the Patients. You can find us at defenseofthepatients.com. You can go to YouTube, defenseofthepatients.com/.ptv1, Twitch /.ptv, patreon.com/Defense of the Patients. Of course, our Reddit, which is our Defense of the Patients. Jay Gucci does a great job there. That's a great way to submit questions if you want answered. People are pretty diligent about that. Email us at defenseofthepatients@gmail.com. That is how we get our questions for the email questions. And that's how we screen them and put them on the show. As well as make sure you tune in Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. This show was an exception because it is the day after Christmas when we were recording this, and things and schedules and all sorts of things got mixed up. But we got the show out. We got some good questions.
Wait, when was Christmas?
Yesterday.
Oh, I missed it.
You missed it.
Damn.
Good for you. I wish I could have.
That always happens.
Most stressful time I've ever dealt with in my life.
Yeah. You should have reminded me. Shit.
Yeah, I know. Well, having a brand new baby and then having like 5 different places, we didn't go to any one of them, but I caught shit from every single one of them. So it was stressful. I'm tired, but we got it all done. You guys, once again, thank you for making the show happen. This is definitely a blast for me. What are you?
Not Tuesday.
Denny, what? Did I say Monday?
That's right.
Okay, so yeah,
No,
Tuesday. Or no, Monday. Sorry. Tuesday's when the show comes. I'm tired.
Okay.
Can I get like some
Monday's
sort of like
when we record
I
the
want
show,
workman's
not
comp or something.
Okay, yeah, we record Monday and the show is out as you were listening to it on Tuesday.
Yes, thank you. And without any further ado, thank you all once again for listening to Tuesday Q&A. And now I am going to awkwardly try to close this show.
We're done. Goodbye.
This is Roland for Proud
Goodbye.
saying goodbye.
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 And goodbye.
Goodbye.